A champion who refuses to bow down, and a challenger who swears he's unstoppable. This wasn't just fight week, it was pure chaos. Dricus du Plessis wasn't supposed to be here, at least not this quickly. Critics once dismissed him as awkward, too unorthodox, too wild, but he proved everyone wrong, snatching the middleweight belt and becoming the man standing in the way of Khamzat Chimaev's destiny. Chimaev, the undefeated wrecking machine, has been chasing this moment since the day he entered the UFC. To him, du Plessis isn't just another opponent, he's the final obstacle to absolute dominance. But here's the catch: Chimaev has never faced a champion as unpredictable as du Plessis. The South African doesn't fight by the book, he rewrites it in real time, and that's what makes him so dangerous. The tension was already high before fight week even began. Fans and pundits weren't asking if this fight would be good, they were asking if the octagon could even contain it. But while the main event stayed intact, the rest of the card was falling apart. Within days of UFC 319, multiple fights were scrapped. Diego Ferreira's bout was axed. The long-awaited TUF 33 welterweight final, gone. And then came the breaking point: Brian Battle missing weight again, 4 pounds over the limit, and just like that, his fight with Nursultan Ruziboev was scrapped. For fans, it felt like deja vu. For fighters on the card, it was a nightmare. Months of training wasted, entire camps thrown in the trash. The undercard wasn't just losing fights, it was unraveling in front of everyone's eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say a ton because it always comes off as excuses, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can say that will make the situation go away, you know what I'm saying? What happened, happened. Just, you know, there was a lot of things happening in life, and, you know, I guess, like, I let it get to me a little bit too much, you know what I'm saying? I still, like, as far as fight-wise goes, I was super sharp going into the fight. I wasn't bullshitting in my training, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't around and, like, coming in sloppy, you know what I'm saying? I was coming in super sharp, the best technical version of myself. I just, like, a lot of stuff going on. I took the weight cut for granted. I thought I was going, like, the same thing everyone else is asking, like, how'd you go up and still miss? That's what I was thinking too. I was like, what? I thought this was gonna be a lot easier than it was, you know what I'm saying? Sean's gonna cuss me out because Sean Strickland told me that as soon as I was coming up the middleweight. I was like, yeah, it'll be a nice easy cut. He was like, no, it's not. He's like, it's still gonna be a regular cut. And I was like, you're just saying that because you're 230 pounds right now. Like, I haven't been 220 in a minute. Like, you know, I'm still at a reasonable place. I've made middleweight from much higher weights before, you know, but once again, you know, you know, it's like you learn lessons, you know what I'm saying? You develop, you know what I'm saying? You keep on getting up, you keep on struggling, and the more you struggle, the less of a struggle it becomes, you know what I'm saying? The more you fight your demons, the less of a competitive fight it becomes, you know? So, like, I will say if I agree to meet at a certain weight with somebody, I won't miss weight again, you know what I mean? I'll do, after this, you know, I'm already talking to nutritionists, you know what I'm saying? Taking things a lot more seriously, and just looking forward to being the best version of myself, living up to my greatness, all the potential and whatnot.
And then came the weigh-ins, the one place that's supposed to be controlled, almost ceremonial, but this time, it turned into a war zone. Both fighters hit their marks, but when du Plessis and Chimaev came face to face, everything boiled over. Chimaev lunged forward, eyes locked on his opponent like a predator. Du Plessis didn't flinch. He stepped forward, ready to swing. In that split second, the fight nearly happened on the stage. Dana White himself had to wedge between them, shouting as security swarmed in. The crowd roared, half in excitement, half in disbelief. It wasn't a face-off anymore. It was a promise of violence. And in that moment, one thing was clear. The respect was gone. Whatever lines of sportsmanship existed had been erased. From here on out, it was personal. Chaos didn't end there. After the weigh-in, the microphones came out, and so did the venom. Chimaev, with his trademark snarl, promised destruction. "I'll fuck this boy up." He spat, no filter, no hesitation. Du Plessis laughed, but his response cut sharp. "He won't survive in there. I'll put that man to sleep." It wasn't just trash talk, it was conviction. Chimaev's words came with raw aggression, but Du Plessis carried a calm menace. Like he'd already visualized the ending, and it didn't favor his opponent. The media ate it up, the clips spread like wildfire, and by the end of the day, UFC 319 wasn't just trending, trending. It was exploding. I think after Saturday night, it's going to be time to go and maybe do some introspection saying, how are we approaching this? Because I don't know where he's at on a mental level. I know he has a lot of money, as he says. I haven't checked his bank statements, but he says he has a lot of money. You know, he's so certain he's becoming the world champion, and I'm here to say no. There's no way you're becoming world champion while I'm the champion. It's going to be interesting to see. I've tasted my first loss. I know what it feels like. It sucks. It really sucks. But here's where it gets even more intense. This wasn't just about a belt, it was about identity. For South Africa, Du Plessis represents history. He's the first to bring UFC gold to his country, carrying that national pride on his shoulders. Every time he walks into the cage, he isn't just fighting for himself, he's fighting for every fan back home who never thought they'd see their flag on a UFC champion. For Chimaev, it's deeper than just dominance. He's fought under different flags, from Sweden to the UAE, and he's carried the energy of every place he's called home. To him, fighting isn't just sport, it's survival. He treats every opponent like prey, every fight like a hunt, and now the biggest kill of his career was standing right in front of him. So when these two locked eyes, it wasn't just personal, it was cultural, it was historic, it was global. And through it all, Dana White was losing his mind. The man who's seen it all, brawls, weight misses, last-minute chaos. Even he had to step in and call BS on how UFC 319 was unfolding. Fighters missing weight again and again. To him, it was unprofessional. And you could see it on his face when he had to drag Chimaev and Du Plessis apart at weigh-ins. Dana wasn't amused. He wasn't just protecting the fight, he was protecting the UFC's reputation. Because if this main event collapsed, UFC 319 would have been a disaster. And Dana knew it. That's why he was out there, hands on fighters, barking at security, making sure this card didn't fall apart completely.